Siobhan Colleen, you're not going to score many more important goals in your life. I mean, the winning goal in extra time of the cup final, I mean, what's that feeling like?
Yeah, it wasn't probably my best goal. It probably wasn't my best game, but it was definitely one of the most important goals I've ever scored. Just a game that I was in at the opposition, you know. It probably was one of the most important goals I've ever scored.
From a marketing point of view, it was the perfect cup final to have UCD and Raheny, and I mean, it was the perfect game as well, in front of the RTE cameras. Fantastic promotion for the FAI Women's League, yeah?
It was. We're the two best teams in the league, you know, and there's a lot of best players in the league, in the country on both teams, so it really was a good showcase for women's football.
And I mean, like, you look at Lansdowne Road, it's not an opportunity a lot of these girls get a lot, but I mean, it's the level you have to aspire to be playing in front of like crowds like that as well, bigger than you'll see at Morton Stadium any weekend.
Yeah, it definitely is the thing to kind of dream of, you know, coming here to watch the Irish coming to watch the Irish men's team here, you know, for many years, and getting to play in it, and for the second year in a row getting to play in it, and lifting the cup for the third year, but second year here, so it is super.
3 years in a row, I mean, it's like, when are Raheny United going to stop, you know?
Well, we're still going for the treble, so that's what we're going for this season. So
it's going to be a tough title race for them, with UCD dropping points against Wexford recently. I mean, it looks like Raheny are definitely in the driver's seat.
Yeah, but just like UCD dropped points last week, anyone can drop points any week. You know, every week's such a tough game, so we just have to make sure we get the points week in, week out.
I mean, we keep talking about how much the league's developing. I mean, it's a much more difficult task than it's ever been before. I mean, especially looking at UCD's squad, it's better than any of the female squads we would have seen, isn't it?
It's a team of superstars, I suppose you could call it. Yeah, so they are really good, but you know, we're doing well. So.
Alright, thank you very much. I think Gleeson must be gutting. I mean, in extra time to lose a goal like that, and I mean, it's tough to take, especially against your arch rivals.
I think it'd be tough to take against anybody, but especially in the FAI Senior Cup Final, you know, to go to extra time and essentially lose on a mistake is very difficult for everybody to take, and you know, we have to move forward from it. But for today, it's very tough to absorb that we lost the game on a mistake.
It was one of those games though that was either going to be won by a moment of magic or a mistake like that. I mean, because it was so evenly matched. I mean, it was probably the best cup final we've seen for years.
Really, because we thought it might be a little bit boring, because we didn't think it was end to end with chances. We thought there was a lot of turnover, and we'd win it, they'd win it, we'd lose it, they'd be on top, we'd be on top. But like you said, it was going to take something to open it up. Unfortunately for us, it was a mistake that opened it up, and you're into extra time, the legs are tired, you're trying to get the ball forward, but it just wasn't to be, and you know, we lost.
After dropping points early in the season, I mean, performances like this, I mean, against a very strong Raheny side, and I mean, like, it's going to fill you with confidence, especially after dropping points recently to Wexford and of course Raheny themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, we dropped points to Wexford. We had a very poor performance ourselves, but in terms of previous performances, especially against Raheny, I thought we had an excellent performance. They caught us with 3 goals that, you know, the game didn't really reflect their score, but the goals wins games. But I think, you know, it's UCD Waves is a new entity. It's 4.5 months old to reach the FAI Senior Cup Final. We're looking to challenge for the title of the league as well, so it's all very progressive, and like you said, there wasn't nothing in that game today between the two teams, and it came down to one mistake.
You mentioned the progression at UCD. I mean, it's going along like phenomenally well for any, like, if you look at a new club to be in a cup final, to be still, and to be one of the favourites for the league, muted by everybody, to be up there with Raheny. I mean, it's phenomenal, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it started off well, and we're obviously looking to progress that, you know, further develop, and it takes time for a new team, you know, to gel and to bond and to find a way and to get the results. So there will be, you know, inconsistencies along the way as we learn together, but like that, we're in the FAI Cup Final. We wanted today to be our first trophy. It wasn't to be, so we'll be concentrating on the league, you know, and looking for a place in the Champions League. Looking
at games like today, I mean, like in front of the crowd like that, it's a brilliant advertisement for the league and stuff, and it's a level that Irish women's football must be looking to aspire to be playing in front of crowds like that and stuff like that every week.
Well, I think absolutely, because it just generates a great atmosphere. Obviously, you're here today in the Aviva. It's a great platform for the National League, and it reflects the progression of women's football since the inception of the National League. So I think the more people that see this today, the more people that were watching on RTE, maybe they'll come out and support the National League game, and, you know, a bit more promotion around it, and it should generate the crowds.
Because I'd imagine a crowd like we had today, I mean, it'd look brilliant in Morton Stadium or in Belfield, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and like you said, I mean, you said it was a very enjoyable game, so if, you know, people are enjoying it, come out. you know, it's not big money into the games. Come out and support. Your senior Irish international players are on the pitch. There's lots of talent there, and I think there will be enjoyable games for people to come out to.
Finally, you mentioned the senior international girls that are in there. I mean, like, Sue Ronan doesn't only have the few that were in her last squad. I mean, the likes of Katie McCabe, Raheny, and a few of the UCD girls who haven't quite made the step up yet. I mean, it looks like the league here, it's definitely on the up. I mean, it's one of the rising leagues in worldwide women's football.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. It's still in its infancy as such, but it's definitely given the home-based international players a higher level of football and a higher challenge, and that's where they need to be at. And, you know, from an organisational point of view, we need to be putting that platform in place that we're keeping Irish players here as opposed to losing them on scholarships away. And obviously now colleges like UCD are integrating education and sport, so I think it's all kind of falling into place in terms of, you know, ancillary bodies getting involved, colleges, the FAI, clubs, and it's going to be reflected, I think, in the standard of the game, the level of the players here, and the development within the clubs.
Alright, thank you. Rebecca Cray, it's a much happier occasion than the last time I was speaking to you. I mean, it's a fantastic result, and it's a really brilliant advertising for women's football.
That's it, definitely. We knew it was going to be a tough game. You know, we know the great outfit that UCD are, and the occasion was unbelievable again. I think it was a bit more enjoyable this time, getting the 3 in a row, you know, as well, and it's just been an unbelievable experience today, and we're going to enjoy it tonight.
3 in a row. I mean, you've beaten UCD in a cup final, Castlebar and stuff. It's tough to see where Raheny United are going to stop, isn't it?
I know. It's exciting though, you know, and it's a great little roll we're on at the moment. It's going great as well in the league, so that's the goal now. We'll forget about this win, I suppose. We'll enjoy it tonight now and go back to the drawing board during the week for the league.
Like, there's still a small matter of a league title race you have to win. I mean, but UCD dropped points against Wexford recently. I mean, it looks like Raheny United are very much as usual in the driver's seat.
I don't know, it's early days, you know, and you look to the likes of Wexford, who you mentioned, they're unbelievable this year. They're getting stronger each time, and we still have to go to Castlebar, we still have to suss them out, you know, but UCD are going to come back fine. We know that, and we're not going to take it anyway handy this year.
The women's league, it probably doesn't get the promotion it necessarily deserves, but I mean, you look at it today, it's one of the best, it's probably the best cup final we've seen in recent years. I mean, in front of the TV cameras at the best ground in Ireland. I mean, it's a phenomenal like advertisement, like I was saying.
Yeah, that's it. You want to play at this stage all the time, and I think women's football needs to get to that level where it's getting the promotion week in, week out. You know, people are coming out to games, and this is a great stage for it, and I hope people enjoyed what they've seen, and some great goals were on show as we're talent. Yeah.
You look at the Bristol first, like a few weeks ago, and now a ground like this. I mean, it's the level you must aspire to, because women's football is definitely on the rise. I mean, not just in Ireland but worldwide.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm playing football now 20 years nearly, you know, show me age, but yeah, and that's like, I've seen the growth over the past few years. It's been unbelievable, especially with the National League coming into play. So yeah, no, it's been great, and hopefully can keep pushing on and get to that level like Bristol are at.
And I mean, like, when you played Bristol in the second leg, I mean, Raheny United got to show a bit more than maybe in Richmond Park, but I mean, when you look at it, it's like, you look at how well the team are doing and how many players are in the international setup. I mean, the National Women's League here in Ireland is definitely on the rise, and it looks like it has, with teams in the Champions League knockouts, it looks like it's potentially like one of the rising leagues in world football.
I'd like to hope so. Yeah, you said there that the National League, I think it's about 9 players out of the squad of the Irish team were in the National League. You know, they're National League players, or there's past National League players, and it's unbelievable. You know,
and there's players like Katie McCabe as well who will be knocking on Sue Ronan's door as well. I mean, like, it really looks like the league is going from strength to strength.
It is. It's definitely on the up. You know, you look at the likes of Katie. You have Kiva Keane and Lauren Dwyer coming through as well. Claire Shine, who's unfortunately injured today for us, and Siobhan, who's in there at the moment. So those girls are going to pull Irish women's football a long time, a long way, down the years now, and get us to that level that we all aspire to.
Alright, thank you. Julianne Russell, I mean, it's bitterly disappointing, especially considering it's probably UCD's best performance of the season. I mean, the chance you've created against probably the strongest team in the league.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, to be honest, to lose any game, but then for the FAI Cup Final in the Viva to be televised, everything, the whole day, it's just heartbreaking to not come out as winners.
When you look at it though, I mean, it's an entertaining enough game. I mean, in front of TV, in front of a bigger crowd than you'll probably see at any of the domestic league games. I mean, it's a very good advertising for women's football and for UCD Waves.
Yeah, definitely. It's about time, to be honest, that women's football is getting recognition in this country. I don't really mind saying that. But hopefully now it won't be just the final, and they'll give more publicity and televise more games and not just this.
I mean, you look at games like today in Lansdowne Road. I mean, the international games played in Tala and stuff. It's and the amount of players in this league who are playing for Sue Ronan side. I mean, it's a huge, or at least knocking on the door. I mean, it looks like it's one of the more developing leagues in the world, in world women's football.
Yeah, definitely. The standards improving year on year. Since it started to now, there's been such a massive improvement, and a lot of the girls on the national team we play in Ireland, and before it was majority that were playing abroad, so it's brilliant for us home-based players to be able to play at a good level in the league and to bring that into the national team.
For yourself, I mean, you've had that experience of playing abroad. I mean, it does show on the pitch, the sort of the movement and stuff. I mean, how much has that experience abroad helped you in your spells with Peamount and now here?
It was brilliant. I was really lucky to be able to combine my studying and football together. Yeah. So it was a great experience, and probably has benefited me to come back here then.
I mean, UCD, they've had a good start to the season, a bit like up and down. I mean, you had that massive win against Peamount, and then you had the losses against Raheny and Wexford as well. I mean, it's probably not been the ideal start, but I mean, it looks like it's starting to come right. I mean, performances like this are while the result maybe hasn't gone your way, I mean, it's promising.
Yeah, like the fact that we've only been together for 4 or 5 months, I think it's phenomenal what we've done. Yeah. To get to the final, and to be for some of the performances that we have in the league, I'm happy for the start that we've made.
I mean, looking at where DLR Waves were last season, I mean, I was reading an article there where something I think Peamount beat them, was it 4-0, 4-1 something last season, and then you come and the UCD Waves are now beating them 13-1 or something. I mean, it's a huge turnaround.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that it's a brand new team and doing so well, the teams that just came in, like Galway for instance, they've done really well so far, but I think we've had a very strong impact in the league.
And finally, you mentioned Galway. I mean, you'd have a vested interest in what's happening in Galway. I mean, they've got a really good setup up there, and I mean, they're one of the other rising clubs. I mean, especially you'd have a very big interest in what's happening in Galway.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll always have a place in my heart for Galway. I played with Salt 11 my whole way up, and I think it's brilliant. It's about time that Galway had a team in the National League for such a big county, and for the amount of talent and girls playing there. It's fully deserved to have a team. So I'd always have my eye on them.
Would you ever consider playing for Galway at some stage in your career?
Sure, you never know. At the moment I'm working in Dublin, so sure, anything can happen.
Alright, thank you very much. First off, congratulations. I mean, it's the first, it's the best advertisement for the Women's League. You could have a fantastic game and against your arch rivals as well.
I know, we were just delighted to get the win. We wanted to retain it. That was our job, to just get out and get a win and retain it, and look for the 3 years in a row, because no one's done it before, so luckily we did that.
3 in a row. I mean, you look at it and you've beaten the likes of UCD, Castlebar. I mean, who is there to stop Raheny United at this stage?
I know, the league is coming up this year. It's been strong. You see Wexford beating UCD there last week, 2 weeks ago, and now the league is looking up, so we're going to be stopped.
You mentioned Wexford beating UCD. I mean, it's very they've dropped a few points down. It looks like the title race is very much in Raheny United's hands now.
No, it's too early to say. We've dropped 2 points against Galway with the draw out in Santry, but it'd be too early to say about that just yet.
And it's a cup final. You've got a goal as well in Lansdowne Road, and that means you've equalled your brother's record of goals here in this stadium as well. Yeah,
I know. It's just delighted. I didn't care who scored them, just once we won.
And I mean, as I say, it's the perfect advertising for women's football. I mean, it doesn't get the promotion it needs, but I mean, it's a fantastic game in front of the TV cameras, and I mean, it's in such a great ground as well. I mean, it couldn't have gone much better.
No, I was delighted. Even if it's getting held here in the Aviva, it's something else, but the fact that it's getting shown live on national telly as well, it's shown other people around Ireland that girls can play football as well as the boys.
Today's game, as well as the Bristol one, I mean, they show you the away game in Bristol and stuff. It's the level you want to be at every week, playing in grounds like this or the grounds like in Bristol, and it's a good goal to aspire to.
No, it is. We wanted it. Bristol gave us a good game, and now we just keep working hard and training, and luckily we get results like this.
Alright, thank you very much.